Hello, and welcome to day 12 of our 15-day meditation challenge. Self-forgiveness meditation. So, when we normally talk about forgiveness, we think about forgiving other people, and people don't often think about the importance of self-forgiveness. And I think we only have the potential to learn to fully forgive other people, if that's what we want to do, if we're able to forgive ourselves. Now, for me to learn about self forgiveness, first of all, we need to think about a situation or any circumstance where we would need to forgive ourselves. To do that, it's important to understand what our actions are based on. Our behavior, our thoughts, our feelings, our actions, they're based on, first of all, our genetics, which we're not in control of. They're based on our childhood upbringing that we were not in control of. They're based on particular circumstances in that moment, which sometimes we were not in control of either. And certainly, if you look at a young baby or a little child, if they make a mistake, although it may be slightly tempting to blame them, we know that deep down it's not really their fault. They're not really in control. They don't really know what they're doing. And I think even as we continue to grow up as young adults and beyond, we forget all the different influences that are impacting our behavior. You may have done something that you're not pleased about, that you're not proud of, that you think was bad or wrong. But if you think about it, what was the cause of that action? Maybe you felt a certain way. Maybe you had a thought. It wasn't your fault that you had a thought, but you had a thought, and that thought led to an action that was unhelpful. Maybe you were motivated to do something wrong, even though you knew that it was wrong at the time. But there was another part of you that kind of drew you to do it. So there's two ways of seeing it. One of them is to blame yourself, and that's the common way of doing it. But I would encourage you to think of it in a different way. That it's not actually fully your fault. There was all sorts of situations, circumstances, particularly your conditioning, your environment, and your genetics that led you to behave and to do that particular action. And understanding that is the beginning of an opportunity to start forgiving yourself. And this can be for big things, certain big so-called mistakes that you may have made in the past, but it can also be for small things happening throughout the day. Maybe you could have listened to someone better, you could have done a certain action better, you could have dealt with the situation in a way better than you did. And we're all conditioned to think that it could have been better or that was not good enough. But what if we, even just for a day or even just for a few minutes, consider the possibility that maybe that's the best it could have been. And if you were more motivated, that wasn't your fault. If you had a different thought that had come into your head, a different feeling that had arisen, if you had a different upbringing or genetics or conditioning, then it would have been different. This me that we blame ourselves is not as fixed and as stable as we believe it to be. And so as you start to just reflect a little bit more and explore a bit more, you start to realize that there were all sorts of different factors that led you to behave the way you did. And from those factors and through doing this reflection, you realize that actually things couldn't have been any different. Otherwise, something different would have happened. So just like the sun rises and the birds fly and the water flows down the stream in a certain way, so thoughts arise in your mind, feelings arise in your being, and actions happen. It's the way the universe works, and we may judge those actions as bad or wrong, but they were what they were. And if you start seeing things in that way, then self-forgiveness becomes a lot easier. So that's our reflection for today, and I invite you to have a go at practicing it. Think about a little thing that you did and how actually it couldn't have been different. Otherwise, you would have done it differently. Let's finish by listening to the bell. Wonderful. I'll see you tomorrow for our next meditation, day 13 of our 15-day challenge. See you tomorrow, and bye for now.